Anti-Strahd Alliance, NASA 5E. It feels good to say this on stream for the time. I'm JC. We're DMing Waterdeep Dragon Heist, now with even more dragons, and for the first time ever, a heist. Yeah, so last week we sat there and focused on Vash, Royal, and Varm Nefarious, as Varm was paroled out of a crime. He met up with a tabaxi and something that looked a lot like a tabaxi, and made their way to the Yawning Portal, in which they met Volothamp Gadarm. Volo sat there and gave him a job looking for a friend of his named Floon, and offered him 100 gold pieces each in order to help find the missing friend. But that's not what we're going to focus on to start off with. Uh, we have some new guests in Princeton right now, but what we're going to focus on right now is another member of this thieving crew, Damros Akros. Where you're at right now is deep underneath the sewers of Waterdeep. You find yourself around a crackle of energy as a fireball spell explodes, pushing you down to the ground. If it wasn't for, your innate abilities, it would have put you down for the count right away. As you begin to look up, you see Varm Nefarious reaching for a weird shiny object just outside of reach, as well as another tiefling who's got his horns ground all the way to his head, a outrageously sized right arm reaching for one of his own, realizing it's just outside of reach. Tries to push himself up and says, "All right, that's it, you win. Where do we go now?" But to further understand why you're there in that moment, we're going to go back in time another 3 months, where you're running down the streets of the dock ward with a druid friend of yours named Versad. Why you're running is pretty obvious. The police are chasing you from a con gone wrong. In a total Zach Morris Saved by the Bell, let me explain how we got here moment. You had a con with this druid where he had wild shaped himself into a cow. You would sell the cow to an unsuspecting farmer, and then he would wild shape again into a mouse to leave, and then you just go on to the next town and do it again. Well, this time it went wrong when the farmer's cat bit the druid. He bamfed out of wild shape, and now you guys are both wanted for animal cruelty, mostly due to dislocated cat jaws. All right.
Not the first time.
Not the first time. Yep. As you're beginning to come down through the streets of the dock ward, you find yourself going through the a middle of a farmer's market. At this point, the cops have been gaining on you. Is there anything like this? Will be a small skill challenge. Explain how you're going to lose the cops in this crowded market.
Is this for me, I'm assuming?
This is for you. This is for Damros Akros.
I have wings. I'm just going to fly away.
All right, you have wings. Let's go ahead and I'm going to roll to see if there's anything in the air in terms of like airships.
Okay. Yeah.
12. So I mean, it is a clear sunny day. You can certainly fly, and it will go well. It just you're going to be very obvious to spot because there's not much to hide in the air.
Yeah, my plan is to fly for a good 200-300 feet over some buildings, drop down into an alley again, and attempt to hide myself.
All right, very cool. Go ahead and we're going to start off with the dexterity check, just straight dexterity, to see how long it takes you to get up to speed and in the air.
All right.
Whereas your friend Versad did not roll very well, and he is losing on the cops even more.
22.
22. So, I mean, just with one step in the air, it's like watching an Olympic high jumper. You just come up, the wings from your infernal bloodline expand out, and you begin flying around. So what is your fly speed, by the way?
30 feet. Same as my walking speed.
All right, cool. All right, so as you go through, instead of sitting there and trying to hide within the farmer's market. You're using that as an obstacle, and you are very, very easily gaining on these individuals. I don't feel the need to sit there and make you take more checks. After 2-3 minutes, you're able to get close to a quarter mile away from the farmer's market. Unfortunately, though, your friend, the druid, was nowhere near as lucky. And as you turn around to look, you see uh, 10 to 12 different guards all tackling on top of this druid, kind of like watching the Agent Smiths on Neo. Yeah, yeah, and it's very much like that. Um, yeah, so as you sit there and hide, just so that I know, how long do you plan on hiding in the alleys before you check to see if it's safe to go out as yourself again?
I'll probably give it about a 15-20 minutes, just make sure everything's calmed down. There doesn't seem to be any excessive ruckus near me.
All right. So as that happens, as you find yourself trying to get into areas of Waterdeep where there's more than just you to worry about for the Citadel Guard, there's this part by a tavern, uh, which I have to look up the name of the tavern because it's been a few months since we last played this.
Skewered Dragon.
Yes, the Skewered Dragon Tavern. On Net Street and Fillet Lane in the Dock Ward. This is an area that's currently under contest between the Zentarum and Xanathar's Guild. So you figured as long as you weren't the most pressing matter, you at least could hide in anonymity. Okay.
Okay.
As you guys, you accidentally happened from some of your other friends in your thieving days, which is Vash, Royale, and Varm, literally right outside of the Skewered Dragon Inn. As you come in with this wonderful artwork called Times New Roman, would you care to describe yourself for the rest of the party?
Well, seeing as these wonderful individuals already know me, I am unlike your normal red-skinned tiefling showing my fiendish bloodline. I'm actually blue-skinned with, surprising for a tiefling, blood-red eyes that seem to slightly glow, and they have cat-like slit irises in them.
We're all cats.
We're all cats in some capacity.
Mhm.
On my back, I have a set of large, leathery, almost torn and frayed at the edges looking wings that I tend to keep hidden beneath a cloak. I cast no shadow as I move about, which is very disturbing in some circles. For me, it's just another day in the life of torturing the normies.
So you just made Invader Zim, is what I got here.
Kinda, yeah.
Invader Zim that's friendlier on the colorblind.
Mm-hmm. Except for the eyeballs. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. As the group gets together, is there anything you'd like to catch up on? Because you're literally right outside the Skewered Dragon. It's almost like it was incredible circumstance that you guys all meet right before the next plot point.
How long has it been since I've actually actively seen these guys?
Varm, it's been a couple of weeks. Vash and Royale, maybe 3-4 days at the most.
Okay. It's just me walking in, seeing them, and going, "Oh fuck, not again."
Good. You're all here now. We can start.
Oh fuck, not again.
So I've brought you here today because I can't do this alone anymore. The threats are too great, and I've assembled you, Waterdeep's mightiest heroes, to fight with me. I know,
Wait.
a lot to take in.
Oh fuck, not again.
Should we start with questions?
Vash is like looking around once Royal starts talking. He starts like looking around and he looks and he actually notices Damros. Goes, Damros! Oh my God, you're here!
Oh fuck, not again. Oh, hi Vash. Hi Royal. Hi Varm.
At this point, a random passerby heard the call to action that Royal came. He was like, yeah, I have a question. I never put in an application to be a hero. Am I still allowed to join?"
Beat it.
Well said.
What
Okay.
do you bring to the table?
Um. Um. No. I'm gonna come up with something. I've got this.
I don't know about you guys. I like him.
I ask him if he can fight, and I put up my hands and I just pop him once in the face.
All right. Roll to attack.
Okay, that's what is my bonus again? Okay, that's a dirty 20.
Yeah, that hits. He was not prepared for it at all. You pop him right on the nose, and as soon as you sit there and bring your hand away, you just see gushing out blood.
I literally just got away from the fucking guards.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Um,
He's just like, I can do that. Is that helpful?
no, not really. I think you should listen to Farm. Maybe you should get out of here.
At least
All
I can
right.
take a punch.
That's it. I'll be a superhero in secret.
There you
As
go.
he sits there, moves around, and you have a constant trail of where he's walking right now.
He's
Don't
a good
forget
kid.
to wear leggings.
Yes. Okay. Right. All right. So as the heroes of Waterdeep have assembled, and had your first round of cuts.
You just didn't have an attack. He didn't even block.
2 hours later, we're still talking about how this guy is.
Well, I guess we should probably tell Damros what we're even doing here.
Yeah, I'm just having an
just
oh fuck
told-
kind of day.
Oh, speaking of which, all of you are aware of Versad, who was referenced earlier in the episode. He has been one of your companions and was, really the only reason why the Mousy Cow con ever worked in the past, because he was the only one that could turn into a mouse and a cow.
Mousy cow.
Mm-hmm. Your guys' naming techniques for cons is very on the nose.
Oh, so you don't get confused.
If the name is too complicated, we do it wrong.
Should we go
So I
see
spend
if-
about 35 seconds catching Damros up on what we're doing, but it's way too fast, so you probably didn't understand me anyway.
Okay.
I'm just doing that stare when somebody's talking to you and you're just nodding your head and you're completely elsewhere.
Okay, so it's like when you're telling me about engineering things. Got
Yep,
it.
exactly that. Mouth slightly agape. I might be drooling a little bit right now.
Actually, you know what? Roll for drool. Dexterity saving throw.
Can I just choose to fail it?
Yeah, you take 1 point of embarrassment. It's not damage. Just write down in your notes. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with, for the time being, I'm paralyzed. Just.
Yeah. So as you sit there and your eyes begin to glaze over, you have no idea what Vash is even talking about. You've kind of gone into your own little happy place. You hear crashing waves going on in between your ears, and you won't be able to communicate effectively again until someone makes contact with you.
Happy place.
Vash, you want to hit this guy too?
I'll take that as contact. Oh, hi, Varm. Sorry, I went somewhere else there for a minute. So what are we doing again, Varm?
Well, right now I'm looking at a vacuous turd, but I think we need to get out of the street.
I like that word. I'm writing it down. Write down the word vacuous.
I'm gonna write down turd.
Royal, do you have any drawings that would fit this moment?
Not prepared. No,
No. Okay.
I don't have anything there.
not for that.
Yep. All right. Without further ado, I'm assuming you guys will like to walk in dragon. The lead that you got from Old Zoblob's shop.
Yeah, old Zablob. Hey, speaking of which, I didn't write it down. What I got like was it called a seal of Neverember?
Yes.
Okay. I remember buying that because I was like, oh, this might have a use later on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Little did you know, I'm just trying to get you to spend money.
That's gonna work great.
Yep.
Don't have
Yep.
to ask me twice.
Yeah. So as you get there, the skewered dragon looks like a ruin, kind of like Lord Stanley's in DeKalb, Illinois. Both of its front-facing windows are smashed, with the ship's anchor lodged in the roof. Just like Lord Stanley's in DeKalb, Illinois. Through the windows, you see a group of haggard patrons drinking from huge tankards, and they all paid cash, just like Lord Stanley's in DeKalb, Illinois.
We don't take cards here.
Yep. Yeah, as you come in, there's most of the patrons here are dock workers. They look a little bit on the saltier side. And if you go into the middle of this bar, you're going to be very, very afraid that there's a handful. Like, just you don't want to be near the pool tables in the skewered dragon.
Does anybody have wavy blonde hair?
As you look around, no one looks clean. First and foremost, which is your first idea, is that it's not Floon's not here. Yeah. Yeah, but and then you see, the bartender is out there cleaning glasses, and as he's doing that, and he's putting the next glass in the water, no cleaner. In fact, it might be dirtier, and he's just wiping the smudge around the glass, and then puts it down, goes to the next one. Yeah. This might be where MRSA is born.
I'll take one.
I'm gonna.
What, mate?
That.
I'm sorry, what'd you say, Scott?
That.
There's a lot of that. Would you prefer this?
Even better.
All right. And at this point, he just sits there and pours you a glass of water. It's on the house.
Glass of what?
The water.
Oh.
Is it salt water?
Only one way to find out.
I'm gonna give him a tip.
How much of a tip are you leaving him?
That much.
Cat turd. I'm assuming it's a cat turd because
Vacuous
what
cat turd.
Vacuous cat turd. Even better.
He just sits there and looks up at the note. Yeah, you're gonna get nice and sloppy on that drink there, buddy.
Just how I
As
like
he
it.
just crumples it up and throws it right back on the table.
Sorry to say,
Yep.
the internet must see.
We're gonna have so many cut to Discord moments because of Royal. Yep. So he sits there and goes like, "For the rest of you, can I help you out?" Smudge, 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 smudge.
Have you seen a blonde guy?
Yeah. There's one around here a couple nights ago. I wouldn't forget it. He's the only one who clearly looks like he's never worked a day in his life.
That's exactly the guy we're looking for.
Kill him.
Yeah. No, he met up with Rainier Neverember. Chip off the old block. Well, assuming the older block was a douchebag, he was a douchebag too.
Then let's steal from him.
Yeah, I mean, he was The two of them met up, got nice and pissed. Played a few rounds of Three Dragon Ante before leaving around midnight. Then, as soon as they left, there's a couple of shady guys all wearing black cloaks who left right behind them. Looked at him real weird in the eyes too. I think they're gonna do stuff together, if you know what I mean.
Whoa.
Dirty pirate hookers.
Where?
I just told you they left a few days ago around midnight.
Where?
They left here a few days ago around midnight.
Now I get it.
Just make sure. Ask them again.
Where?
What do you guys see in him?
Exactly.
Turds.
Vacuous turds.
Literally, in my notes, I wrote this: turd equals funny.
Yeah, there's here's the deal though. I've seen those guys with their cloaks around before. They usually end up hanging out this place down on Candle Lane. It's got a snake symbol right above the door frame. Can't miss it. If you go ahead and look over there, I'm sure you can sit there and find your buddy.
Is it Candle Lane?
Yes. Candle Lane, not to be confused with Lantern Street.
Do I, based off of the description of being on Candle Lane with the snake logo above the door or a symbol above the door, do I know about where that is?
I mean, you know exactly where Candle Lane is known in the dock ward as being the one that really experiences nighttime because all of their street lamps are kept alight through the continuous flame spell.
Mm.
And yeah, I mean, all of you sit there know because it's one of the tourist traps in the area. In terms of who would know where that snake is, I would assume it's close to a thieves' camp, and maybe Damrose would be the only one who has an acute idea of what to look for.
Also, I would probably be fairly familiar with the Candle Lane area because of being a roguish type and liking to steal from people.
That's why I'm sitting there and saying that.
Oh.
You sat there and agreed with me. Congratulations.
Yay! First time in ever.
Man, we met in second grade. It's been 24 years, and this is our first.
Yep. We'll go with that. All right, gentlemen. I have some idea where we're going. Follow me.
All right behind you. By the way, does anybody have a tissue?
I'd like to just kind of whip my tail out from behind my cloak and just crack him across the temple with it and say, "Not you."
There's a great little stamp just right there from it. He's still bleeding. Goes like, right, okay. As he just sits there, goes back to the table. It's like I realize I pay my tail.
Yeah, you do that.
This guy's the big bad evil guy, isn't he?
Just imagine if I gave that guy a voice the entire time. It's like, yeah, I just really wanted to take over. Yep. So as you guys leave, with Candle Lane, we're not going to sit there and have to work through the mazes here because you got. That's kind of like walking down Lower Wicker Avenue in Chicago. Where Upper Wicker looks kind of neat. There's a lot of stuff. Lower Wicker, fixed up for the movie Batman or The Dark Knight.
Oh, Whacker. Okay,
Yeah, Whacker. Yes.
Is there a Lower Wicker Park? That's what I was trying to think.
No.
I figured it out fast enough. I knew he was talking whack.
What happened is I don't go to Chicago. That's what happened.
But I get it now. I'm there.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's as you guys get over there, we're gonna move maps.
Woohoo! Scene change.
Mhm.
Star wipe.
As the group here is gonna be in the lower left-hand corner. Yep. Yeah. Right now you are in kind of like this patio concourse, and right over here is where you see the snake that Damros so quickly pointed out. Okay. Making sure there's nothing that I need to read to you. The answer is no. Like, this is an unassuming warehouse here in Candle Lane, and if it wasn't for the fact that you knew exactly what you're supposed to be, the rest of you would have easily missed it.
Okay, that's good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Holy crap, I see
gentlemen,
Mike.
it would appear that we are here, and I'm going to leave this up to the wonderfully charismatic Tabaxi twins we have. I'm
I look at
playing
Royal. I go,
God into this.
so what's our play? Do we just start shouting Floon?
I'm in if you are.
Something in my gut tells me that's the most direct but not best idea.
I like most direct.
Okay, tell you what. Let's go inside first and see if we see him, because then we don't need to yell.
Can I still yell anyway?
Sure.
I'm in.
All right, all of you should have control of your various nameplates. And hopefully next week I'll work on getting images to your nameplates.
Is there like a window or anything that we can like peek in around the building at all?
As you look around, you can sit there and see. Yeah, I mean, there's a number of windows that you can look around. One quick glance lets you see that there are tables and chairs that have been carelessly tossed around the floor. There are about a dozen men just lying down. Some are leaning against the walls, some are on the floor. All of them look like they've had their weapons kicked away from them. On the north side of the area, you see stairs that begin to rise to an open level above, like a rooftop.
So just to clarify, in the bottom floor, what we see is a bunch of guys who look like they just got their asses kicked.
Either that or there just aren't enough beds.
And most of them are asleep or resting.
They appear unconscious, yes. As I sit there and roll for what time of day it is right now.
Do any of them appear
It's about
bloody?
1 in the afternoon.
You
Is this a door right here?
Any of them appear to be bloodied?
From looking inside the windows, you cannot see for right now.
Okay.
So, Damrose, I'm going to need you to be back outside the patio because no one's announced that they.
That's why I just did it. Okay. Fine with me.
Yep.
Is this a door right here?
There's no actual like real set map here,
Is this a
so
window?
I'm willing to sit there and say that this right here is door. This was window.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah, because they don't really draw it out with a legend or anything. So say Varm's
Alright.
at the door.
If it's unlocked, I want to try to push it open slowly.
All right. So as soon as you sit there and put your hand in, you can feel the door start to buckle, and then the lock catches. So the door is locked.
All right.
Guess we're going through the window.
Damrose, we got a locked door.
yep. Sounds like a personal problem. As I walk over and I would like to attempt to pick the lock.
All right. Go ahead and give me a dexterity check. You get to add your proficiency to it if you have thieves' tools.
Let's see here. I am proficient in thieves' tools. I should have thieves' tools. Yep, I have thieves' tools.
Cool. So then add your proficiency.
I got, and this is just a straight dexterity check.
Straight dexterity plus proficiency.
That is a 15.
All right. As you come through, is you sit there and you're a little cocky, a little confident. That's been a match for you. As you're looking at everyone else, you're doing this with just one hand coming through, and eventually you just hear, and the lock just falls off the door.
There you are, Varm. After you, as I push the door open.
Okay. Describe how you're pushing it.
Like in those crazy SWAT movies where they put their hand across the back of it and lean against the wall and just push it open real hard, like that.
So like you're trying to forcefully do it, or just slowly creak the door open.
Enough force where it just kind of slowly creaks open, but enough where it opens enough where we can get a good view.
Okay. Cool.
So kind of
As you look,
that weird balance of the wind blew it open.
yeah. And as you look in from here, you see 4 short avian creatures with long beaks and black feathers as they turn their heads to you in complete surprise from where they stand in the middle of the warehouse. Each of these avian creatures wears a hooded cloak and wields a short sword. But you now have access to the main room of this Zentarum hideout.
So they see us.
Yep, they see you, you see them. It's Kismet. I don't really know what Kismet means.
It's okay, none of us do.
I push the other door open. Looks like it's a double door. I
Yes.
push open the other door with my hand on my sword hilt, and I
Mhm.
look at the avian creatures, and I say, "Where's Floon?"
There's this one right here in the back corner. You imagine that he was going to sit there and speak in a very, very high pitched voice, but this one's a deep, almost like an orcish accent, and it just goes, Xanathar sends his regards. The next one over in a really nasally voice sits there and says, tie the pretty boy up in the back room.
I think we found our pretty boy.
I'm like standing back where I am and kind of shaking myself loose and slapping myself in the face a couple times.
Okay,
I'm
roll
gonna-
a hit. I'm kidding.
And then
Do it
I'm
anyways.
gonna sprint out, jump through the window.
All right, can you give me an athletics check?
Oh, please
Yeah.
tell me it's Steel Bard. Just ting.
14.
It wasn't steel barred because that would make it seem like there's something there worth protecting. As you come, it's a shoulder charge coming in. As you
Yeah.
just begin to give me a acrobatics check to see how you land.
Always on my feet. 16.
16. All right, yeah, this surprisingly worked out better than anyone gave you credit for. You shoulder barge in, sit there, push one hand onto the ground in order to flip yourself over to land on your feet. And I'm gonna be honest, at both the avians and the humanoids alike just all kind of look at you. One by one, their jaws just drop.
I look over, I go, oh, that was cool. And then I look at the other two avian people and I go, so what do you guys say?
There's one that has a very scratchy voice that goes, no time to loot the place. Just get him to the boss. And the other one just says,
Yeah, that's fine.
I want a cracker.
Well, it looks like
But
we
in
should
like a
go
super
get-
sarcastic voice. Like it's like Steve Martin telling somebody that he wants a cracker.
All right, let's put these guys down and go capture the pretty boy.
So I take a couple steps in and I start to walk like towards the back. I go, so he's in the back room.
Xanathar sends his regards.
God, we're fighting parrots.
Fucking Kenku.
I hate parrots.
I start following Vash towards the back.
At this point, you see a couple of the Kenkus begin to grab their as well, and then like unfurl their hoods. And at this point, I'll need everyone to roll initiative.
Let me guess, the one goes, no time to loot the place.
Is it bad that
No, this is actually the I want to crack one.
Ah, damn, I did not roll well.
is it bad that because
I'm-
I know they're Kenku, me as a person wants one of them to try jumping through a window now?
I was expecting one of them to be like, all right, what do you guys say?
Oh, that would have been so great. Oh, I'm so dumb. That was a wasted opportunity.
It's all right. It's the first shot at Kenku, you know? We got growing pains.
All right, 25 to 20. 20 to 15.
16.
Okay. All right, anybody else? 15 to 20. 10 to 15.
11.
Also an 11.
10.
Damros. Who's got the higher initiative modifier?
Mine's a
Between
4.
you.
I have a 3.
All right, so then we're going to go Varm, then Damros, then Vash. Bringing up the Stampede. All right, Royal, your first act.
All right. I'm going to say, I just jumped through a window and go into a rage.
Okay, done.
And then I'm going to attack this guy closest.
Great stuff. How are you attacking him to begin with?
With the greatsword.
Okay, let's roll a hit.
12?
12 just barely hits.
Yay. All right. That'll be 7 damage.
7 damage. Shows this one is you have a horizontal shot that just goes right across. You've started off already by beheading, and as his head plops down, you just sit there and goes. He says, "No time to lose." Yep. So that's what happened. There's your turn. Anything else you'd like to do?
I just want to turn to the next one and say, who's next?
At this point, you hear another one that sits there and says, "All right, what do you say?" All right. Now it's time for the Kenku to come up. This one is making sure it's actually in a square. Are going to come up to Royal to begin with, and this one is going to roll around to Vash, and we've got 2 short sword attacks. If it stays on the table, then it counts as a roll. We have a 17 to hit.
Who's that against
And
me?
no, these are both against Royal. Both 15 plus 2s to hit.
Yep, 17s will hit.
Okay, so there's my d6. So the first one will do 5 slashing damage.
And I have resistance because I'm raging.
Yes. And the second one will do 4 slashing damage. So the 5 would be reduced to 2. 4 reduced to 2 slashing.
Cool.
Yep. Assuming that's one of your barbarian abilities at this time.
That's in my rage. Is
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while since I DM'd a barbarian, so I'm just
Yeah.
yeah. I remember the order of their abilities. Then the one for Vash. This will be a 14 to hit. Nope. All right, as this one comes through, it's just a nice little skewer, and you are able to sit there and get a little wide C shape in order to get away. Next up will be Varm Nefarious.
All right, move in here. And
Okay.
I'm going to try to attack the one in front of Vash with
Okay.
my warhammer. I said sword earlier, but I do have a warhammer.
Yep.
That is off the bat a nat fucking 20.
Woo!
All
Hey.
right.
I should
Good way
start
to
tracking
start.
these ones too. I guess.
Well, in that case, I had one earlier for flying.
Oh, I was only tracking my critical hits.
Attacks.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. My hit was shit. Math. 11 bludgeoning.
Well, if 7 was enough to drop a guy, I'm pretty sure you can tell me how this guy ends his life.
You ever just driving down the road and you see this flat thing that looked like it might have been feathers at one time laying there? That's what this thing looks like.
Yeah, so this one looks like a future roadkill. As this one drops down, you hear in a nasally voice, "Follow the yellow signs in the sewers," and then instantly out. After that, we have Damros.
All right. Then I will go right there, and I will go after that one
Okay.
with
How are you attacking?
a rapier.
All right. Roll to hit.
And also, let's see here. That's gonna be a 16 to hit.
Oh, that hit so hard.
And can I pump sneak attack into that also?
So it's already gone. Royal's there next to it. I'd say yes,
Okay.
because you would have had advantage with Royal being within 5 feet.
All right. Sounds good to
Do
me.
you have sneak attack at level 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have 1d6 sneak attack. I get
It's been so long since I ran a game.
yeah. I get expertise, sneak attack, and thieves can't at level 1.
Cool.
So that is going to be 12. Yep, 12 slashing damage.
All right.
Or
Explain to
nope,
me how this rapier messes this guy's life up.
into the aorta, out of the aorta.
All right. So do you remember how Vash created the world's biggest nosebleed? You created one hell of a heartburn. Yeah. Now to bring up the round, the Ash.
Okay. I pull out my my Yuckelwa, I take it off of my back, and I stab
Bless
at
you.
the last Kenku over here.
All right. Go ahead and roll the hit.
All right. 12.
12 just barely hits.
Okay. So that's 9 damage.
All right. As he sits there and says, "What do you say?" Tell me how this battle ends.
So yeah, I have my Yuckelwa, my Naginta strapped to my back with like just a cloth cord, and I just slip it over my head, and in one motion just grab it and stab, and it catches him like right here, like through the upper trap.
Mhm. All right. So it turns out you guys are better than bird people. But to let you know, in bird culture, what you did was kind of a dick move.
Anybody
Yeah.
think their voices were kind of weird?
So
Do you want me to bring back the unnamed NPC?
he followed us all the same. Fuck this guy.
It turns out that this is Michael Caine from the movie Now. Just there trying. It's like, find me Mark Ruffalo. I don't know I'm looking for him, but find me Mark.
I want to look around to see if I notice any other attackers or things to be attacked.
Yeah, as you sit there and look at the other 12 individuals here, you see that they've all not only died, but died some time ago. Looks like they were all stabbed in their sleep. Turns out Kenku don't play nice. These guys were all assassinated before they had a chance to defend themselves.
Kenku are assholes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I
Did
guess
you hear that one? Did you hear that one repeat what I said, like some kind of asshole? Sorry, Varm, I talked over the other.
I guess we ought to look for this room.
I want to
Oh,
see if
yeah,
they have
back room.
anything of value in this warehouse and on these Kenku.
Yeah, go ahead and roll investigation.
Ooh,
Damaros.
not gonna be the best. Oh, da-da-da. That is going to be a total of 10.
I mean, as you're looking through, you can see that there's a couple of hoods and short swords that all the Kenku had. And in their coin pouches, you find 1 silver piece and 7 copper pieces. So yeah,
Alright.
like collectively.
I'm gonna do my
Uh,
best to make this stuff disappear without anybody else noticing.
mhm. And then as you look through all the crates, it looks like this is kind of a warehouse in which the stuff they were really shipping got separated from the stuff that they wanted to make it appear like they're shipping.
Hmm.
So there's a lot of cheap, worthless ceramic pots that looks like you can buy them at Target in the clearance rack. Yeah. But in terms of what's inside them, they've all been excavated.
Hmm.
Or extracted, I'm sorry, that's the word I'm looking for.
Did that bird say Xanathar sends his regards?
I don't know if they knew what they were saying.
You know, like with shampoo, rinse and repeat, I think that's what Kenku do.
Yeah, but I mean, like, he heard somebody say that, and they had killed all those guys, and
So,
I think I heard that this is a Zentarum output like place, not a Xanathar's Guild place.
Um,
so
Damaros, you would know that the snake denotes this 100% as a Zentarum outpost.
Yes, this is a Zentarum outpost. But, I mean,
So-
they're Kenku, come on. They were talking of crackers and Pretty Boy in the back.
DM, are these kinds of like cross gang assaults like commonplace, or is this more than your typical turf war?
I don't know if he heard you or not. Or I just
He
lost
did. I
everybody.
think he's looking something up. Oh no, actually, he got dropped out of Discord.
oh no.
Bum bum bum.
So did my dad.
Internets. I'm wondering if there's a way I can offset that without making the lighting too harsh.
For what?
Oh, I just don't like the glow off of my screen. Normally I have more lights on than this.
Mm.
But that was when I was DMing to make reading easier. I don't have to do that.
That's true. I had your camera and then I lost it. Oh, I got
Yeah, I'm
mine.
trying to get everybody
there you
in,
are.
so I keep reconnecting.
I can hear again. I
Alright.
can see.
Up there. Okay. My dad got kicked out of Discord. He needs about 10 to 15 minutes anyway to take care of the smoker. So that's okay.
Okay. Well, we'll move on as he's sitting there and taking care of that as well.
I did ask, so I don't know if you heard my question.
No.
Okay. So I asked if these kinds of assaults were commonplace, like cross gangs, or if this is more than your standard turf war kind of stuff. If I would know that.
This is more than your standard turf war. Like when you sat there and when we did the last session a few months ago, seeing a couple dead thugs in back alleys was not exactly common, but not exactly rare.
Yeah.
Most of the interconflict between these two guilds happened below the sewers,
Okay.
where the city watch would not go into. So to
Okay.
sit there and not only have an outpost of the Zentarums assaulted, but having an outpost that was above ground assaulted, this is almost unheard of.
Okay.
With all of your guys' backgrounds, I'm sure between the party you would have that background information.
Okay.
So this is definitely seeming to be the start of something much, much bigger and much more hazardous to my trade.
It's almost like this is all exposition since it's chapter 1.
I keep just looking around for the back room. I'm assuming the back room isn't upstairs, so I'm looking for like any other doors on the first floor here.
Yes, I mean there's a door right here,
Okay.
up true north. It's kind of like a broom closet from Harry Potter.
Right. I
As
quietly
you
test the door to see if it's locked.
as you get closer and closer to it, it sounds like muffled. You're just going the entire time. The door itself is locked, but it's locked from the front.
Like it's locked from his side.
Yeah, so it's locked to keep those things inside from going outside.
While
So
he's
it literally for you, all you have to do is just flip over a latch and it unlocks. Like
Oh,
there's
okay.
no roll required.
I get you. Okay.
you have the
Yeah.
deadbolt on the outside near you.
I flip the latch and I open the door and I look to see who's inside.
As you come in here and making sure that I have the description right. You find a unarmed man, marred by grime and has a lingering stench of rancid pickled herring. You imagine this guy is a complete, trash ball, but as soon as he sits, you see him. He goes like, "Excuse me, no, I'm sorry. Uh, could you possibly help me?" You see him mostly through his rope binds. Mm, Let's see here. You sit there. It's like I can explain everything. I'm Rainier Neverember. Um, they thought I was Flume for a while, and I think Xanathar's guild still believes that
So
Flume is me and I am him.
so when I first opened the door, I opened the door, looked at the guy to see if he had blonde hair. Probably noticed that he doesn't, right?
Yeah,
And
correct.
shut the door. And then I was like, "Oh wait!" And I opened it back up. And then I hear him say all that stuff about being able to, or being thought that he was Floon.
Hmm.
While that's going on, and I hear Vash going, "Oh, my bad," and opening and closing a door repeatedly. I'm looking for any secret hidey holes that may be in a stash house like this.
Yeah, hold on one second. Let me just get this nameplate up. Yes, I want it. Bam. There you go. Yeah, give me another investigation check for this.
Same thing. Total of 10.
No, it looks like you've kind of went over what you've seen pretty well.
Okay.
Yep. So I'm sorry, Vash. Did I interrupt a question that you had for Rainier?
I was gonna ask you, is he able to walk, or is he like tied? You said that he was like roped up pretty good, right?
No, he's actually like most of the way through it. Is he's just been trying to muscle his way up, like around. You see some rope burns around his wrists and his ankles as he's just been trying to like force his way out. It looks like the knots did not fatigue very well, and he has just been able to muscle his way through.
So no
Okay.
sailor can coo.
No, birds and boats, man, they don't work too well.
So I just get right down to it. So where is Floon?
And why would they think that you are him?
I would imagine that they sat there and thought Floon was me, mostly because he gave me one of the crest of Nemverember that I commissioned for him to make for me. and they assumed that by taking him, my father would pay ransom. Unfortunately, they won't get any money when who they stole has no relation to Lord Neverember.
Boy, that probably doesn't spell out a good ending for our friend Floon.
I mean, I know he was hired help, but he's one of the few people I can have a drink at a good time with. So if you don't mind, if I can help you, if I can be there when we find out what happened to him, I'd like to know.
So, who are you exactly, and who are you associated with that you want crests of Neverember, and want
He's-
to
I am-
be seen as Neverember?
He's Floon.
My dad is Lord Neverember, the former Open Lord of Waterdeep.
Are we supposed to be impressed?
I'm not.
I'm wondering why you're traveling through seedy circles to get crests drafted. Your father is Lord Neverember. There should be more than enough around, don't you think?
Let me tell you that my dad was only worried about his deal, and it's been made very clear that if I wanted to have a deal, it was mine and mine alone.
Yeah, he threw you out in the cold.
No, I willingly walked away.
So how's that making a life for yourself going?
Well, it'd be a lot easier if it wasn't the fact that everyone just sat there, looked at my last name, and assumed that I was trash.
You could change your name.
Okay, I use my my claws to cut the ropes the rest of the way so he can get out.
Tabaxi claws. Man, if there's only a way I can make these.
Cut his hands off.
I put
Oh
my
my
hands in
God.
my armpits. Patent pending.
No. I don't need your claws.
Oh my god.
I do the same thing. These are
I
mine.
can't tell you how many people have wanted to skin me for my fur.
He's
I
lying.
asked him once.
So
At this point,
bad.
he looked. His curiosity's a little piqued. How many have?
It's 0.
Have you seen
Good to
his
know.
fur?
It's kind of a brutal thing.
Just look at him.
So now that I've made my introductions, I feel it's only proper for you guys to make yours. Who may I credit my assistance for?
I'm Vash the Stampede.
Oh, why do they call you that?
I got the nickname Vash the Stampede from this group of guys in Baldur's Gate after I led the entire Zentarum on a merry chase through the docks for 3 straight hours before I finally slipped out on a loose raft.
Oh
It's a
fuck,
gambling
here we
debt.
go again.
Yeah. All right. Well, Mr. Stampede, the Stampede,
Just Vash is
Captain
fine.
Stampede the Vash.
Just Vash is fine.
All right, Vash. Thank you so much. And to you, as he turns to you, Damros.
I am nobody of consequence to you.
I would beg to differ, considering that if nobody of consequence came up, I'd still be in that closet.
I didn't open the closet.
Fair enough. Is there something I can call you in the meantime?
Sure. Call me Vash the Stampede.
All right, Vash the Stampede and Vash the Stampede. Can you tell me how you got the name Vash the Stampede?
Same as him, but less epic.
Fair enough, a man of secrets. I guess I should leave you to him. And to you, is this more of your inventions that are patent pending?
All
As
of
he
them.
turns to you, Vash, as he's pointing at you, but looking straight at the mask of Royal.
Nope, I was just a model.
Fair enough. To you, masked savior,
I like that.
to what do I owe the pleasure?
To what?
Yeah, what's your name?
I was never given a name.
Once it. Oh my God, I'm saved by the biggest pricks in the world.
But you can call me Vash the Stampede.
How? All right, I'll bite. How did you get the name Vash the Stampede?
I took it from this guy.
How delightfully honest. All right, Vash,
I do.
and Vash. I think I know where they took Floon, or at least the path that they used. We'll have to get underneath the building and into the sewers. I will show you the way on one condition, which is that I'm allowed to accompany you, so I can just find out what happened to Floon.
Well, Vash, what do you think, Vash?
I'm all good, Vash.
Sounds good, Vash.
All right,
I'm
guys,
going to be honest. This is exactly what I wanted from this party, where everyone has bashed the Stampede right now.
Are you back, Dad?
Yeah, sorry about that.
No worries.
I'm doing 3, 2, 1 baby backs, and I needed to do the 2-hour steaming.
Yeah,
Ooh, that sounds
we
really good right now.
Mhm.
we found Rainier Neverember. Apparently, they had him tied up because they thought he was Floon.
And Floon was Rainier.
Okay, cool.
And everybody has named themselves Vash. Except for you, so far.
Yep.
I can tell you right now that won't happen.
His name is Vash too.
All right. So as you guys all begin to leave,
Uh,
and
before we leave,
yes,
I just want to give it's Rainier.
Mhm. Do I
People
need to open up
confusing
Discord?
People confusing you for someone else. I have some advice.
What is it?
I hand him the note.
Oh, God. Can someone cut to Discord?
All right.
He sits there and goes like, "That would certainly make me memorable," as he just folds it up neatly, and he makes it look like he's tucking it into his coat pocket. And I'll need everyone except for Royal to make a perception check.
I got a 9.
Okay. Damaros and Varm, what'd you get?
What check am I making?
Perception.
I got an 11.
Okay.
I got a 12.
Good to know. Vash, you sit there and be like, "Oh my God, this is great. Someone finally kept one of Royal's notes." Damros and Varm, you see that he sat there and very neatly just kind of threw it. So it looked like it was going into his coat pocket, but it really just sat there and landed next to his shoe.
As he does that, I look at him and go, "You drop that."
Right. Right, I did. As he picks it up and puts it in the other coat pocket and does it again.
I just face palm really, really hard.
Yeah. So as you guys begin to leave, and I'm going to move you all for this, the 5 of yous. As soon as you get there, you find a whole bunch of members of the City Watch. Yeah,
Fuzz, cheese it.
yeah.
Oh, fuck. Here we go again.
And if you guys choose to fight them, I'll bring the rest over. But all you really need to know.
So we have to burn it down.
No. Like they've met you outside. Like this is just
Oh,
poor timing more than anything
Oh.
else.
I was gonna say I thought they were
At
on
this,
the other side.
yeah, at this point, you find the leader of the guard comes forward, he sits there, just puts his hand right onto his longsword, and goes, "Hello there. I'm Captain Eustace Sadek. We were told to investigate this place. Do you happen to know what went on in here?"
Well, Mr. Useless Static, I don't think you really need to know.
Well, anything that happens above the ground is my responsibility. So it's my first inclination is you're responsible for what happened in here. So why don't you just tell me what you happen to be responsible for?
Saving
Well, when
the
we showed up, we looked in
Neverember.
the windows and everybody looked like they were dead. So my buddy Royal, he like ran back and he ran through the window and he jumped
I'm
in, and then we
gonna
got in
put
there and
my
there was
hand
these
over
birds
his
and they started
mouth
talking about stuff. And then all of a sudden they were like, "Oh my god!" And then we had to fight them and I stabbed one through the fucking neck. And then we were like looking around, and I saw I hear this thumping on the door and then opening the door and this guy was in here. I found a Neverember.
All right, so I got to you look through the windows. Can someone explain that story in a way that is legible, audibly legible?
I point at the Neverember and go, Neverember will explain.
At that point, he goes like, yes, no. So there's some members of the Zentarum who sat there, and a couple days ago captured me and my friend Floon. At that point, after that first night, the Xanathar's Guild sat there and took my friend Floon while assassinating most of the members of the Zentarum, leaving me trapped in a balloon closet. All these men are guilty of is breaking and entering in order to get me out. At that point, I would like to say that I am pressing no charges, and the city does not have anything that they can do against these gentlemen here. At this point, Eustace says, "Can anyone else verify this?" And he sits there and says, like, "You don't need to. Do you know who I am?" Unfortunately, yes. All right, so here's the deal. You guys better keep your noses clean and out of this Zentarum and Xanathar's business. Not necessarily because it makes work for me, but because most people who do end up paying a price more than they're willing to pay. All right, just realize as this point time he sits there and reaches towards all the men, snaps his fingers, and just points away. And the other 11 members of the guard begin to walk. He goes, just realize that not everybody in the city watch is as considerate as I am. As he reaches into his pocket and holds to you a piece of paper, is like, for those of you who happen to be new in town, understand that if you're above the surface, these are the rules you have to follow. And as you open this up, it is the legal code of the city of Waterdeep that has been reformed since the defeat of Tiamat. I will sit there and I will post these for you guys on Discord later this week.
Awesome.
But essentially lets you know, like, hey, don't punch nobles. Hey, don't steal their money. Hey, if they're rich, back the fuck off. Is really what you need to know. As you read through it, you get the idea that if you harm anyone above your station, it pretty much means you're spending the rest of your life either working off a debt or in prison.
So what I got from this was don't get caught, and don't get caught.
Yeah, that's pretty much what you needed to get out of this.
All I heard was keep your nose clean. So I'm going to clean my nose.
Now I'm curious, what are you cleaning it with?
Lots of spit.
At this point, Eustace is just in the middle of his speech, was about to start something. Here's you hawk a loogie into a cloth and cleaning your mask. He just sits there and goes, I actually forgot what I was going to say. Look, all I'm saying here is if you like having freedom, Dock Ward's not the place for you. Comprende? Oh, by the way, comprende is Elvish for do you understand?
Don't get caught. Got it.
All right, you're a smart man.
I say
Wait,
comprende
what?
in Dwarvish. Double
at
fingers.
this point, he sits there. He's like, here's a good thing about criminals. They're usually too stupid to get away with it. As they go back to where I was over here for the next time I run this campaign. Bam. All right. So now, as you guys roam freely, you guys make your way through the docks ward again into a back alley, and eventually Rainier opens up a sewer. He sits there and goes like, "I'm sorry, I've never had to do this by myself. Is there anyone who can help lift this grate?"
Where are we going?
Vash and Vash. I recommend we help the Neverember.
The simple answer is down. The more complex answer is down, and then there's going to be a few things we'll probably need to fight. And we're going to have to go into the heart of one of Xanathar's hideouts. And all we can hope is that we aren't there too late to find my friend Floon. Does that give you enough detail?
Cool. I put my hands on the grate.
All right. So, Vash, I'm going to have you roll a strength check with advantage since Rainier is helping you.
Okay.
I want to try to sneakily put my foot on it to press down.
So here's what's going to happen is I'm going to give you a D8, Royal, and that is how much you're going to subtract from this roll.
I rolled a 15 minus 1, so 14.
Minus one more.
All right. As you sit there and come through, it's either the fact that you're just naturally not that strong, or it's from the fact that you have absolutely terrible form, but you begin like you didn't even realize that you could sweat, but yet you are trying to lift this grate. And for about 45 seconds goes by, and you're barely making any progress. You hear Damros and you hear Royal occasionally chuckling, and then all of a sudden Royal just removes his foot and just boom flies straight up into the air. And now you have an open sewer grate. Another couple seconds go by, you just hear the clanking sound of a metal grate just landing in the middle of the street.
Yeah, because
Listen for any
nobody
follow-up.
heard that.
Nobody screamed, ow. I think we're good.
I'm not worried about up here. I'm worried
Another
about
few
down there.
seconds. Another few seconds later, you sit there and see a small trail of blood, and you turn around and it's the same guy from the Gear Dragon. He's like, "Man, this just hasn't been a great day."
God, go see a cleric.
Yeah,
That shit's
yeah, good
still
call.
bleeding from earlier.
Yeah,
You should really keep your
hemophilia
nose
is a real
clean.
disease, guys.
At least he didn't say necrophilia.
Ugh, that would almost be fatal to me.
All
As he
right.
sits there and walks off once again, leaving a track everywhere that he goes.
He's a good kid.
I'd like to look down the sewer for any kind of thieves' cant, traps, anything, leading downward that would be of hazard.
Yeah, you just see a series of yellow arrows that sit there and point you in various directions. As much as you expected this to be a real sewer, there's no water at all on the bottom of this. It looks like this is just kind of like a hollowed out tunnel more than a sewer.
Okay.
Are there places to go other than where the arrows point?
Yeah, the opposite direction of the arrows. I mean, it's a tunnel. It goes,
At least two ways.
yeah, it goes exactly two ways. You actually see a sign that just says one way and an arrow point. So no, I guess it's a one-way tunnel.
Can't go back this way. Well,
So guys, we'll have to find another way out.
I'm just actively going to be keeping my eye out for thieves' cans or traps or anything of that nature moving forward.
Good to know. What's your passive perception?
That is... investigation is a 16, perception is a 13.
Perfect. Good to know. Yeah, I'm assuming that you guys are going to jump down after Rainier into this tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what happens here is I'm going to open up my mail app as opposed to what I wanted.
I'm going to misclick.
As we switch maps over here, and you guys will be. As it turns out, I never put you on the map.
Dun dun dun.
It was nice of them to label it as their hideout.
Makes it easy to find.
This is literally what Reddit made available to me.
No, nice job, Reddit.
Yeah. I should have written down who made this so that I can give them appropriate props.
Is that a
But you're going to
graphic
be
design?
Design
all the
company.
way on the east side here.
In like the sluiceway looking thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I would guess.
Okay.
It's a one-way tunnel.
Flow of
What's
water would dictate yes.
Royal's going to
Yeah.
have a hard time at that roundabout.
Yeah. What's really kind of intriguing for you about this is that when you're here, it looks like there should be water, but it's all just really intricately painted on. This is a 100% dry tunnel. Why can't... There we go. So go ahead and assemble yourself down this tunnel in marching order.
I'm going back there.
think if you're looking for traps, you should probably be in the front, right?
Oh,
He
nope.
said he's looking for traps.
He's only worried about himself, though.
I mean, you saw what happened to the druid. He got totally Agent Smith.
We'll
All
get
right.
him later.
Yeah. So right now, who here does not have dark vision?
I do not, but I
I'm
think I
pretty
do.
sure I don't.
All right. At this point, you guys, aside from looking straight down when you entered in the sewers, you have no visibility right now.
Well, in that case, I'm going to move to the front and seeing that Varm's up there with Vash behind him and Royal. I'm like, yeah, this is probably a bad idea.
It's
I
a
have dark
one-way
vision.
tunnel. How bad could it be?
Exactly.
Also, I would like to kind of point out. So my background is Outlander, so I have like an excellent memory for maps and geography.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like really like paying attention to where we're going. That way, I'm like kind of making like a mental map of it.
Okay. All right. So very cool. We can get that handled. And that's not was not who I wanted to move. At this point, Damros, as you begin to lead, just with the way Varn and Royal and Rainier are moving around right now, you realize that even your walking pace is too fast for them. They're not going to be able to keep up because they're trying to make sure they're not about to fall into things.
You keep hearing me sort of like hiss out like sorry because I keep stepping on Rainier's feet.
And
That's
you
why
sit
we
there,
call
it's
you
like,
Bash the Stampede.
no, that's why they call him Bash the Stamp Feet.
Stamping.
I'm just going to continue not calling out anything I see just because I'm finding this humorous.
Okay. At a certain point, you just there's like, Rainier just goes, "Does anyone have a torch?"
Probably. Why you can't see?
Not in the least.
Oh, is that why I keep stepping on your feet?
Yes.
I thought you were just
Yes,
going
it
really
is.
slow. I pull out a torch and a tinderbox and I light it up.
At that point, Varm, Royal, and Rainier, that transition, like it's like when someone immediately, like when your eyes are adjusted to the dark and someone just puts in a bright light, it almost hurts for a second, and then as your eyes adjust, you're able to see out to 30 feet from Vash's position. So Vash, if you want to put a 30-foot aura around you, this is where you guys can see normally.
So actually, what you'll need to do, Jay, is to go into the settings on my token to the advanced features and turn and click the box that everyone can see the aura.
Aura. There we go. Everyone can see that now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So anything inside that zone, you guys can. And then another 30 feet outside of that, you'll have to roll with disadvantage for anything that requires sight.
I'm just going to stay right on the edge of it moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, this one is for you, Damros. Your dark vision extends out 30 feet from that point for regular vision, and then or in terms of regular dark vision, and then you start getting that disadvantage. So you essentially get to see 30 feet farther than everyone else.
Says my dark vision is 60 foot?
60?
Then 60.
Okay.
Take the number that I used and put in the number that makes sense.
Okay, so 60, 60.
I think
Yep.
there is though. There's certain classes have different lengths of dark vision.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
I think the goggles for Thok only go 30 foot.
Yep. All right. So, you guys have your marching order,
So I can see it there.
and then let me know if there's anything you're planning to do before you advance.
Same as previously stated, looking for traps and hazards and things of that nature, and quietly
Okay.
pointing them out finally to the group.
I'm
Yeah.
just taking in the vibe.
Yeah. There's so what happened here is that as soon as the lights come on, Now that you kind of get an idea of what's seen around, you have a putrid smell that comes out of the sewer tunnel. Even though there's no water there, you see like bags of feces nailed into the walls here, and other very foul-smelling, rotten meats. It's almost like they're trying to sit there and keep people who would not know that this isn't a sewer from believing anything other than the fact. And it's all there for deception. In one direction, you see a tiny symbol drawn on the wall in yellow, a palm-sized circle with 10 equidistant spokes radiating out from its circumference. In one of these, which is going down the sewer to the west, you see an arrow. And the other 9, you see just a straight line.
They might want to work on their symbols.
Mm-hmm. So as far as the yellow, I can put a dot as to where you saw it. It is literally right there. Bam. And it was telling you to go west.
You'd be going west.
Yeah.
Down the faux sluice way.
So at this point, would that beholder-looking thing just be coming into view?
You don't see it as a beholder. You see just a floating orb. At this point, you don't really perceive it as anything other than a floating circle at this point, since it's all in your dark vision. It's all shades of gray right now.
So, gentlemen, there is a floating orb about 60 foot in front of us.
Neat.
Cool.
Can we see down these other passageways? They almost look like they're not walled off.
Those are not walled off, but they are actually above you at the moment.
Different
So
elevation. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the problems with a 2D map representing a 3D world.
Sure, I get it.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so anything else you want to accomplish before we advance?
Just simulated smelly sewer.
Should we
I don't know. It looks like we got no choice but to head to that direction.
should
I
we
told
be
you
like,
guys,
trying to do
one-way
so
tunnel.
quietly?
Yeah, I'm gonna be moving quietly forward now that I saw a floating ball of death.
Well, we've got the torch going, so being quiet is pretty much a moot point.
Some things can hear but not see.
It's very, very true there. Vash the Stampede. I'm just assuming your name is also Vash the Stampede.
I'm surprised nobody commented on sound being a moot point.
We were more focused on what that floating orb in the front is, but next time I will make sure to laugh at all of your hilarious jokes.
I'm sorry, did he say moo point? He said point is moo?
Pointed cows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm walking
The
quietly anyway.
All right, so for those of you who want to stealth, roll stealth with disadvantage, since there is a light highlighting where you guys are at.
16.
Okay.
20.
9.
Rainier rolled a 19.
I rolled a 25.
With disadvantage?
Oh, sorry, I didn't roll my second one.
Oh, I was like, damn, that's awesome.
20.
That's still awesome.
Yeah. Holy thieves.
Yeah, for some
so as
reason
you guys-
I have +6 to my stealth.
I have a +5. I still got a 9.
I got a +7.
Yeah, so if you guys want to get right up to the creature, the floating orb, and as you get closer, none of you guys have actually seen a beholder. You've only heard legends of it. And to be honest, you kind of expected it to be bigger. This one is about the size of, well, my head in real life. And there's only about 4 eye stalks on there. Given the fact that there's nowhere in this sewer to hide, and the gazer's looking directly on and can spot the fire the entire time, he just looks at you and sees, New faces. Well, if you want to get past me, you'll have to answer these questions 3 as 3 eye stalks shoot up into the air. Question the first. Who the fuck are you?
We are Bash the Stampede.
And
The
Bash the
Stampeders.
Stampede, and Bash the Stampede, and Vash the Stampede.
Well, you already got the first one wrong. There's no way that there are 4 people named Vash the Stampede. That's just ridiculous.
You can't prove that.
We are a
And you can't.
collective.
Yeah, and you can't prove me wrong.
You can prove us
That's what I
wrong.
just
Okay.
said.
So, question the second. Seriously, who the fuck are you?
That guy's name is Floon.
And Floon matters to me how?
I don't know.
We are escorting a Never Ember in the pursuit of, I'm assuming, his lover boy.
Okay. Yeah, in terms of Corey, to your question, Vash probably. I don't have a good answer as to what Vash thinks a beholder looks like. I'm pretty sure that the only thing Vash would sit there and say is that a beholder's first words in every sentence is "behold."
Did you see the picture that I attached to that though?
No.
Oh, because it was a caption of the picture. I was like, "This is what Vash thinks a beholder looks like.
Oh, okay.
This is an eyeball monster."
From Altered Beast, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Level 2.
Nice.
Yeah.
I approve this
So-
message.
Yeah. Question the third, and this one will be make or break. What is the password?
Password.
I look back at everybody.
Damn it! I need to change that.
admin.
At that point, Rainier just goes, "Guest user."
Key password.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4. Same as my
It's the same as my
luggage.
suitcase. Oh man, it's not quite a D&D session until we reference books.
It's official now.
Yeah. Take your Mr. Inspiration. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, after an hour following these signs to the tunnels, you come to this 3-way intersection that leads up to a stone shaft capped by a circular metal cover. One of the familiar chalk symbols is marked on a wall nearby, and floating near the symbol is a spherical grapefruit-sized creature with a bulging central eye and 4 stumpy eye stalks. It bears what few teeth it has at you, which is, once again, to give you a description as to where this password conversation is happening. And at that point, he sits there, and I need to go to Appendix B now.
Oh, fuck. Here we go again.
I know, right? Appendix B.
Password
Yeah,
is
there we go.
pickle.
Yeah. To which he sat there, and with all of his jokes aside, he begins to start cackling. He goes, "Do you really want to know the secrets about the third question?"
There is no password.
Xanathar sends his regards.
There is never a password. The right answer is there is no password. Any other guess means that you're not part of the guild and therefore an enemy. A bunch of his eye stalks begin to point, and I need to roll a d4 to see what happens. In the meantime, you guys can roll initiative because you just got surprised.
I hate trick questions.
Yep.
I'm gonna get really surprised.
All right, so the first one is going to go at Damaro since he's in front, and I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Ooh, yay. That is a 17.
All right, you sat there, and this blast hits you in the chest, and you feel a sort of kinship with this gazer, and you immediately shake it off, and you realize, like, no, this guy just tried to trick us. He needs to die. And then second in line is Royal. Royal, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw as well.
Wisdom. This is not gonna go well. 9.
Yeah. So as this ray hits you into the chest, um, it just you begin to sit there and think of all the things that are wrong in your life, and there's a sense of fear that just overtakes you. And as you look up at this, piece of grapefruit, you realize this is the source of all my fear in the world. You're currently under that, under the frightened condition. And at that point, we will now take initiative. All right, 25 to 20.
21.
Okay. 15 to 20.
15.
10 to 15.
10.
That's. And Royal, what'd you get?
3.
Okay. First to act this time is Varm.
All right. Is there enough room for me to squeeze by this?
Yeah, I
Right.
mean it's 7.5 feet wide, so you can
Okay.
sit there, and as long as you're not ending on someone's space, you can move unabated.
All right. I want to move up here
Okay.
and attempt to melee the squishy with my warhammer.
All right, go ahead and roll the hit.
24.
24 hits.
7 bludgeoning.
All right. As this comes down, there's now a appreciable dent in the head of this grapefruit-sized monster. He kind of floats a little bit lower to the ground now, but he's still floating, moving, and you hear this abhorrent scream coming from his mouth. And at this point, he's going to shoot 2 more rays. Let's see what comes out. All right. This first one is going to be at you, Varm, and I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
$12.
All right. So you just met what was going on, and you feel this cold feeling coming all throughout your body, and you actually take 4 points of cold damage. So it's 8 reduced to 4. As this ray just sit there and saps your body of all. The second ray is going to be Gamros, I need you to make a strength saving throw.
Okay. That is a 9.
All right. You sit there and get blown 30 feet back. Royal, I'm going to have you make a dexterity saving throw at disadvantage since you're under the frightened condition to see if you can avoid.
I'm in trouble. 10.
All right. So you failed as well. So Damros, I'm going to have you take over Royal's spot. Royal is going to go 1 block behind and is going to take the prone condition as well.
Great.
Yep. Let's see here. That's all that he's allowed to do.
There's no damage on that.
No, there's no damage to that.
Okay.
Yep, and that's his turn. Now it's Vash the Stampede's turn.
Okay, I am going to. Where's my movement again? Oh, okay. Oh wait. I'm going to use my feline agility so that I can double my move speed.
Okay.
Run through here. Doot, 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 doot. And just kind of bounce around in between people. And I'm gonna stab this gross piece of fruit with my Naginta.
Okay.
Which I double checked. It is a one. It's not a two-handed weapon. It's just a one-handed weapon.
Okay.
All right. Does a 13 hit?
A 13 just barely hits.
I'm good at just barely hitting.
Mhm.
All right. That's going to be
Just enough
10,
is still enough.
10 piercing damage.
10 piercing damage?
Yeah.
All right. Explain to me how you guys just killed your first floating grapefruit.
I tried to cut it in half like a grapefruit.
Yeah. As you cut through and, juices come out of it just like a grapefruit does. It just doesn't taste anywhere near as good.
Do I get any like that like burning in my eyes like when you cut a grapefruit open and the citric acid hits you in the face?
I mean, it's a lot stronger than citric acid, but yeah. There's a
Uh-oh.
You cut out, Jay. He got dropped. So did my dad again.
What is happening?
I don't understand.
Hmm.
Internet.
It's
Why
so
is
weird
it
that
both
this,
of them at the same time, though?
yeah, it's always at the same exact time. And it's just the two of them.
Corey, you're so picky.
What?
I just looked at your message.
Oh, really? But you took care of it already. I
Yeah.
thought you saw it a long time ago.
Nope. Didn't even look at it. It was just on the to-do list.
Hmm.
Our DM died.
He stood up and walked away.
How dare he?
Now I can see the poster. Oh, it's a potato sack.
Interesting.
Might be a poster.
I was wondering what that was the entire time. Is he looking for the router?
Probably.
It's somewhere.
We got Dan back.
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know why it seems like it's both you and Jay and at the exact same time.
Hmm.
It's very strange. I'm gonna blame Jay. Jay's knocking you out of Discord.
I'll be right back while we're still waiting for him then.
Okay.
Yeah, might as well. Yeah, I am actively running Roll20 in Firefox and
Yeah.
in Chrome.
Why?
Because Chrome I can get a better image from, and this way I don't run into the issue of OBS wanting to jump between tabs.
Oh, gotcha.
Because OBS can be silly like that.
Yeah, I forgot I had that feline agility. That's kind of cool. So what it does is it
I'm back.
allow. Oh, nice.
You always land on your feet?
No, so when I move on my turn in combat, I can double my speed until the end of my turn. Once I use it, I can't use it again until I move 0 feet on one of my turns.
Yep. All right. So once your dad gets back, we'll continue. We'll take let's take a 5-minute break if we need it.
Okay, I can run to the bathroom.
Yep.
Yeah.
Since we played for an hour 45 in a 3-hour session, this is roughly the halfway point.
Sounds good.
Yeah, this week's episode of NASA is brought to you by Festival 56. They didn't pay any money for it or sponsorship dollars, but it's neat. That's why I'm here in Princeton on a different internet having these issues.
Yay, Princeton!
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh.
Hey, we were taking a 5-minute break as we were letting you restart your audio.
Well, everything seems fine right now.
Great stuff. Then we just need the rest of the to return.
I'm available. I'm just microwaving some lasagna right now.
Cool.
Mm. Because it's what I do.
Is it what you do?
Yep. Actually surprised that this webcam works as well as it does.
You stay out there, Bear. All right, I am back.
All right. Scott, you there?
Yeah, I've been here.
All right, cool. Then we're all back. Post the 1-round battle with the gazer. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna like stand up, dust myself off, and be like, "I wasn't afraid. Were you guys afraid?"
I thought it was food.
Royal, go ahead and roll a perception check.
That is my second one today, and it's a -1.
Should've
Okay.
tracking those
So
two.
0.
You get the idea that something's changed on Vash's appearance, but you have no idea what changed. But on the same end, you're feeling compelled to guess.
New haircut. You lost weight.
All right. So if you guys want to continue on, now since you are no longer confined to one direction, you guys move how you so choose, and I will stop you when something pertinent happens.
I'm just going to sit back and watch Royal and Vash handle a roundabout.
I'm gonna kind of lean in and be like, "You got to tell me about that new diet."
Because I'll just bring up Rainier. If you guys need to ask him questions, whatever, he's around. I'm just gonna move him when he needs to be moved.
Do we notice?
Wait.
Do we notice any more of those yellow arrows?
Yeah, I'm looking for the arrows.
Yeah.
I'm just
As
going
you
in
look,
circles.
yeah, as you're looking around, let me get out of Appendix B.
No, Appendix B. I barely knew her.
Yeah, we'll be back. That's all just stat blocks. Yeah. So, you see a ladder, right here that goes straight up, and allow me to mark that with an L.
Oh, I missed it. I have to go around again.
Big Ben, Parliament.
Yep. But as you get through here, now you get into the main tunnel expands into a circular hub with a pair of arrow slits carved into its outer walls, directly across from each other. 2 passages continue on the north and south. A stone door is set into the back wall of a stone ledge to the west. But at this point, you do not see any yellow demarcations.
Have I seen any thieves' cant or traps?
Not that you haven't already pointed out. You don't see any traps at this moment. Like you don't see anything that even looks slightly unusual. This is all, once again, kind of like the facade
Okay.
of the fake sewer.
Through those arrow slits, are there any kind of light or sound coming through?
Not to your knowledge, no. Actually, you know what? Roll for perception
I can do that.
or investigation, since it's not relying on sight.
Okay, that is going to be a 19.
Yeah, there's no sounds, no anything.
Alright. I will keep vigilant.
Very cool.
Hey, Rainier. Any idea which way we need to go?
Um, usually to the west. I'm assuming that there's some door over there. Just, I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing you. Can you speak up on that?
He's lost back there in the tunnel.
Yeah. So I
Oh
mean,
god, there's a
because it
bag of
matters, he's
feces in
talking
my
to
face.
yeah. Since he's talking to Varm, he's just like, I'm sorry, I can't really hear you too well. Can you repeat what you said? It was super mumbly.
Do you really want me to repeat it?
No.
Okay.
I mean, no. I didn't need to. The character was, and eventually comes down to Rainier goes, I cannot you just hear as two arrows fly through those slits that you were investigating, Damrose, and we're going to see if those hit Rainier. First one was a 6 plus 2, so an 8, so no. The second one was a 16 plus 2, an 18, so yes.
Stupid.
And Rainier takes a bolt right into the upper trap, and he just sits there and immediately falls down into the ground, not dying at all, not even unconscious, but he just sits there and goes like, "You've gotten the idea that he has had no military training whatsoever." And he just goes, "Ow!" And as soon as he lets out that last part of the word "ow," two more arrows go to where he was at, but they fly right over him harmlessly.
Do I hate this guy?
Do we notice where they came from?
Yeah, so they actually with the arrows stuck in here. The first one landed right there. So let me draw you where that arrow landed. Boom. There, arrow in the wall.
Okay, well, I'm not going to step where he stepped.
Ow.
Should we just climb the ladder?
No, you need to go inside. That goes up into the streets again.
I'm gonna take some of my string and where'd it go? I just had it. And one of my candles and basically make a ball gag for this guy so he shuts his damn mouth.
Mm.
I am satisfied.
Let's go left.
Yeah. Hold on a second. Bo's starting to freak out. Let me make sure that there's not people coming in.
Alright, left it is.
Short answer is a hunting dog saw a squirrel out the window. Yep. All right. So, what was the consensus while I was away?
Going left.
Going left. All right. So now, as you get into here, yeah. All right. Yeah. Nothing new here. You find more walls and more dark. As as Rainier is now crawling on his hands and knees, well, one hand and knees, trying to sit there and stay underneath arrows, and periodically you just hear muffled sounds as him trying to express discomfort.
In this area, like to our right down here, this isn't like a landing of sorts.
This is exactly a landing of sorts.
Hmm.
So do we continue south or do we check that out?
I want to well, let's actually, I'm curious as to how far I can see. So looking down out the outskirts of our light, do I see anything that stands out in that 60-foot range to be wary of?
Everything looks nondescript. Everything looks painted into the tunnel.
Okay.
Yeah, in terms of the light available here, you have a hard time other than just tunnel.
Okay. That's fine with me. I was just curious.
hmm And then we're probably on like a 45-minute check. So if we get to a certain point, I may stop us early just to make sure that we can allow future events to unfold fully and allow it to take the time that it deserves.
Hmm.
But we'll still move forward as of right now.
Okay.
Mhm.
I look over at Neverember and I ask him to point to which direction we want to go.
At this point, he uses the arm that got shot by an arrow. And he uses his other arm and he points to the west. He points this direction.
All right, then up the landing we go.
I'm going to be honest, Mike, with you making that, the candle to bite on, that's going to be fun.
Oh, I'm planning on keeping that around.
Yeah. As you go through, you see another set of an arrow slit right there.
Well, I'm back here, so that's gonna be Royal there.
Do I see it?
You do see it. Yeah, it's within the torch distance.
Hey, Neverember, go stand over there.
As he like sits here, goes as he stands right there, and nothing happens.
It's funny, if he's quiet, he doesn't get shot.
Um, I'm gonna get real low and move that way.
Okay.
Can I see inside the arrow slit?
Roll investigation.
Hey, it's a good roll. 18.
Since you know what happened at the other arrow slit, as you're looking in, you see a drawn bow with a small tip of an arrow in front of it.
How high up is the arrow?
Eye level.
How wide is the arrow slit?
I mean, it's enough for an arrow to get out, but not your hand to get in.
That was part of what I was asking.
Yeah, I figured that's why.
Um.
While he's looking, can I take a ball bearing out and throw it that way? See if the crossbow moves?
Yes. Go ahead and roll a ranged attack.
Natural 20.
Yeah, it sits there. It's like not only do you sit there and get it, it's perfect motion. It's like a really nice curveball that goes down that hall. And as soon as you hear it clang, you like Royale, you do realize like almost to the sound, it just sits there and turns. And you no longer see that bow.
I give a thumbs up.
Yeah. And actually I just got the text to sit there and say that I am being brought into a to-do list. So I'm very sorry that this was only 2 hours instead of 3 I originally recorded. But this is actually the best spot to stop because we're about to get into the end of the chapter.
Cool.
Oh.
Yep. But I promise we'll have enough time for a full session next week. And hopefully we can introduce the last of our characters, which is Sean's.
Yeah.
Alrighty.